Hello and welcome to the tutorial on how to do your time and expenses at the end of each week. We will be using the form PRealy and ERP Pinnacle to complete this, along with a helpful tool that came with the manual you got. It's called the hour and mileage template. So we'll start out by logging in to SRMS. All these links will be in the description. So we'll go ahead and log in. That's already filled in. We'll click this box right here and we'll go down to the TOTL command. From there we'll click OK, and that'll bring up our current hours for the week. Monday was off, so number 2. Basically the way it works is 1 stands for Sunday, 2 Monday, 3 Tuesday, 4 Wednesday, 5 Thursday, 6 Friday, and 7 Saturday. So basically what we will want to do from here, these are all our totals. So D stands for the distance that was traveled, T stands for your travel time, and A stands for active time. So what we will do here is we are going to take the numbers from category T and the numbers from category A and adding them together. So first we will start with 4.4 plus 3.8. We get 8.2. Usually the best practice that I've found is if we just clear that result out and go down through the list and add them all up. It's a lot easier. Because then you can just look at it and enter in all of it at the same time. So after we add our 4 days together, we'll take these values and we'll put them in the hour breakdown. So our hour breakdown is 8.2 for Tuesday, 7.1 for Wednesday, 8.2 for Thursday, and 5.2 for Friday. And then to confirm that we have our total amount right, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this information now up here. So we are going to put in 15.2 and 13.5 right down from these totals here. These totals down here are for the previous week. These totals up here are for your current week. You don't want to add these up because they don't have relevance in what you're doing today or whenever you do your time and expenses. It's really only if you forgot how many hours you had for the previous week or in some other circumstance. So we took both of our numbers right here for this first category in T, and this second category is A, so in the same order, and now we're going to add those two numbers together. So we have 13.5 plus 15.2 in this circumstance, which leaves us with 28.7 hours for the week. So we'll want to come back down to the calculator and add all these numbers together just to make sure that we didn't misadd any information, any of our numbers. We want to make sure that everything's completely accurate everywhere it goes in this. Now this template is not required, but it will make life a lot easier if you use it. So we will now enter the SRMS miles in here for category D. We get 316 right there. Now in order to do this math, so basically because we can only get paid for 225 miles at 51 cents, we need to separate those into two categories, at least if you have over 225. In this case I do. So what we will do is we will fill this in right here. We'll go 70, 84, 99, and 63. But we are one category off here. So we will start on Tuesday 70, 84.99 and 63. And basically what we'll do is we'll go 316 minus 225. That'll give us 91. So we automatically know that these miles right here are automatically going in the 20-cent section because they're well over the 225 mark that we have. So we have 91 remaining. So we'll do 91 minus the 63 that we just took out of that category, and we have 28. So now 28 miles has to come out of here, and that'll be the new total for that amount, or for that category. So we'll put 28 right there, and then we'll go 99 minus 28 is 71. So we'll change that, and now we will see if everything adds up. So we'll do 70 plus 84 plus 71, and we got 225 right there, plus 28 plus 63, which is 316, which works out perfectly. It looks like everything was separated just fine because we have all these at 225 when they're added up, and these miles are just at 20 cents per mile. Now I will note that having two screens makes things a lot easier on yourself. I have more information off screen, more links open. All the links that we need I have open currently. So we will close these out because we no longer need them because now it's all in the template. So if you do have one screen, you can pull this off just fine. So we'll come up here and we will attempt to drag and drop this over here. There we go. And we will drag this down. So this is the form. As soon as you click the link, this is the screen that you'll be brought to. So the week ending date is the Saturday of every week. So in this case, it's 6/2/18. You'll enter your name in here, and you'll enter your last name in here. The current total for T is whatever is up here. So we have currently logged 15.2 for T, our travel time, and 13.5 for our A, for our active time. Furlough and all these other categories really only pertain to you if they're not logged in SRMS. So in this example, we have furlough. We don't have any of that. If you are training and you have a mentor that's bringing you around, a lot of mentors will give you your hours at the end of the week. They'll count it up because you'll have the same hours that they do as long as you're with them all week. In this case, I'm not training. I don't have any training hours, but that is where you'll enter your training hours in non-SRMS time. So you will not have these filled in. These will be 0 if you're training. Dell certs, if you do any Dell certifications, you put the time in there. So we have 0 of those, 0 of TNW, 0 of personal floater, 0 of paid holiday, and we actually do have other time. The other time is this current project that I'm working on right now, but we will leave that blank for now. So next we'll move on to the total reported time. The total reported time should match the hours right up here, 28.7, and it does. In the case that your entries in SRMS were wrong, and this is not the time that you'll be reporting in PRealy or ERP Pinnacle, then you'll select no. And you'll provide a reason as to why it's not accurate. Let's say that if you entered 5 hours over what you were supposed to, and you know this by checking your hours at the end of the day, you worked 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you're showing 12 hours, then you know there's an issue. And I do recommend that you check your hours at the end of each day to make sure that everything is lined up where it's supposed to be. If you work 9 to 5, then there should be 8 hours logged. If not, then there's an issue. So we're going to select yes in this circumstance because our total reported time is accurate. We're going to take our total mileage right here up in SRMS miles, and we're going to put it right here at 316. Total non-SRMS miles, so if you were not able to input your miles into SRMS in the circumstance that you inaccurately reported your mileage, you will put it right down here in this section, select no, and provide a reason as to why your miles aren't accurate. In this circumstance, total non-SRMS miles, that would be anything that you couldn't add to a ticket. So in the circumstance that you couldn't claim these miles in SRMS, this is where you'll enter it. Remember, anything that you don't enter anything in needs to be zeroed out. You need to put a 0 in that category. So again, just like I said earlier, it's going to show 316 right here because we don't have any miles in the total non-SRMS miles. Are the total reported miles accurate, yes or no? If they're not, let's say you added more and you know that you accidentally added more or you added too little, this is where you would say no, and you would explain your reasoning, and then you will enter in what your correct miles for the week are. But again, in this circumstance, we're just going to select yes because my miles are accurate. These are the totals for your week. So the form is all done, and now we are going to move on to filling out PRealy, because that is the next most optimal thing to fill out for ease of entry. So we will minimize this window. Actually, I will drag it over here, keep it all in a group, and I will drag over the PRealy window, and I'll pin it up there. Now we're going to log into PRealy. So this does require a login that you should have gotten in your onboarding. So mine is automatically saved, at least the username is. I'll enter my password now. And then it'll bring us to a screen like this. So you won't be dealing with timesheets or surveys or anything like that. The only thing that you'll be dealing with in PRealy is expense reports. So we'll go ahead and click expense reports, and we'll go up to create. And after this loads, we will see a screen like this. So the first thing I usually do is I add more rows just to make sure that I don't run out of rows. Because usually you will have multiple days or parking receipts or tolls or something else that you have to add in, so you might as well do that right in the beginning. So the start date and end date for each week is specified each week. Unless otherwise specified, your start and end dates are Sunday and Saturday of the week. You do get an email every Friday that says what the start date and end date for each week is. So we'll go to previous, and then our start date will be the 27th of May, and then our end date will be Saturday of this week. Our project number is also given, and the project number stays the same, again, unless otherwise instructed that it shouldn't be. So we will enter in 10151 for the project number, and the task number is 0001. Alright, so next we will go to the calendar, and we will start entering the days in that we worked, that we're claiming mileage on. So in this circumstance, we're skipping Monday, and we are going right to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have to add 2 Thursday entries in because we are claiming miles at 51 cents and 20 cents. So in this circumstance, that is what we'll do. We'll add 2 of those days in here, and we will go to Friday. We'll enter our Friday in, and then we will start making the next entry, which is the description. Alright, so now we will work with our description section here. We have 70 miles at 51 cents. So 70, the @ sign, 0.51. And that's coming from Tuesday. So it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday again, because we're claiming 20 miles at 20 cents as well, and then Friday. From here, we will go to the type, and we will select mileage. Now, there's a lot in here that can be selected, so you have parking and tolls, which are the main ones that you'd be selecting. Tickets are irrelevant. A lot of these selections are irrelevant unless you have management approval for anything else. But for now, we'll be selecting mileage. Then this window will pop up, and we will do 70, and then we'll go to the next box and type in 0.51, and that automatically fills in our amount right here. So it automatically does the math, which you'll see in a little bit why you should fill out PRealy first, or right after the form, before you do ERP Pinnacle. So now we will go through all of the next entries, and I will enter them in and be right back. Alright, so this is where we're converting over here from our 71 miles at 51 cents. Now we're converting over to the 20 cent section. So we will type in 28 miles at 0.20. So pretty much the same thing, but you're changing the rate in which you're claiming at. So we have 28 at 0.20. Alright. So we will go and enter our 63 miles in at 0.20. And the quickest way I found to do it is just to tab through here. Once you do it enough times, you'll kind of get the hang of tabbing through each of these sections, and it'll make your entries a lot easier. It'll make it a lot more efficient. So in the circumstance that you have a parking receipt to claim, you will go to the calendar. Let's say Friday I had a parking receipt, okay, to claim, or a parking fee. So we'll go SRMS number, and then you'll type in the SRMS number here. So we'll do 00000, and then we'll go over to this section and we'll select parking, and then we'll enter in how much it was. Let's say it was $3. That's the usual parking rate. In the same circumstance, let's say Friday we had a toll. SRMS number, we'll enter that in, and then we'll just go to toll and we'll enter this in. Now in this circumstance we won't be doing that, but if you do enter in a parking receipt or a parking fee, you will need proof that you actually parked there. You actually parked, and you paid to park, in which case you will go into the Unisys templates and you will find the section that is contractor receipt submissal. So basically you'll fill out that email, attach your parking receipt picture, a picture of your parking receipt, to that email, and you will send that. That is the most important part to entering in parking receipts and tolls and things like that. You do need receipts to get paid for them. So I just wanted to kind of give a visual example of the expense receipts submissal. This is, again, the most important part to all of your time and expenses. Well, as far as parking receipts or tolls go, you need to submit your receipts. So we'll go ahead and click here, or pictures of your receipts, and we'll go ahead and click here. I already have it open, so I'm just going to open it right up. And I'm going to drag this right over. So in this circumstance, you can enter your email to get it forwarded back to you, and you're going to enter your first initial dot last name right here, and then the week ending date. In this circumstance, the week ending date is the 2nd of June. So we'll put that we'll put June in here, or the 2nd of June in here, and then we'll attach our picture right in here and then send that out, because that is the only way that you will get paid for your parking receipts, or for your parking fees. So next we will take this window and we will drag it over here, and we will extend it down, and I will come over here and I will now grab the login, or the link, the website that you need to go to fill in your ERP, and I will drag this down here. So again, same thing as PRealy. You'll have credentials given to you when you start your onboarding, and you'll enter them in here and click login. So now we'll have this window come up, and yes, I will save that, and we'll click this draft. After we click the draft, we'll get a screen like this. So in this circumstance, we will actually minimize this, and we'll fill this in first. So you'll click add time, and then this does not change. This changes automatically. So if you're in overtime, anything over 40 hours, it will automatically change for you. So in this circumstance, you don't touch this because it will change automatically. So Monday, we don't have hours to claim. So we'll cancel that, and we'll go right over to Tuesday. We'll enter 8.2, and then we'll click add. And we'll do this all the way until we hit Friday. Now I'm going to do this real quick. And I'm just going to tab through it, because again, it's a lot easier. Just like in PRealy, when you figure it out, it'll become kind of a natural thing to do. So after you tab through and make all your entries on this screen, it's pretty simple. You're just putting the numbers from each day into these boxes and clicking add, and then it converts it to the real time that's claimed for that day. So we see up here that I have 28.42, so 28.7 for the conversion. You want to make sure that's accurate as well. So now we will come back up to expenses. We will click expenses, and this is where it gets kind of tricky, but it's really not too bad. So I am going to bring this window back up, our SRMS, or our PRealy window, and we will click add expense, except again, we're not doing it for Monday because we did not work on Monday. So just to confirm that I have the right date here. Okay, so we will go to Tuesday. We will select rate. Okay, again, you'll see the same things here. For parking and tolls, you'll see the same thing as you do over here. They're the same kind of selection boxes, and I'll show you an example of it in a minute. So for each one, we're going to be taking the amount for each category. So the amount for each day. So in this case, it's 35.7. We're going to tab down to the comment section. Units, always leave that 1. It's always default. We're going to enter in 70 miles at 51. Now you can copy and paste. You can copy this and paste it right in here. It is the same thing, but I find it a lot quicker just to enter it in again because it's just a lot of work doing that. So we will then click add after confirming that we definitely typed in the right things, 35.7, and then got our description down. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go through the rest, and I will be right back when we hit the 20-cent entry section. Alright, so now it's time to add our 20 cents in. It's essentially the same thing as adding another day in PRealy, except you don't have to add the date twice. You just have to click add expense. Again, we'll go to mileage. And in this circumstance, it looks like we have 5.6 for the amount. And then we're going to say 28 miles at 0.20 now. And we're going to click add, which again, I just tabbed through. It's a force of habit. So we'll go mileage again, and then the amount, 12.6. And we'll do 63 miles at 0.20, just like we did before. And we'll click add. After that is done, if you do have a parking receipt over here, so let's say, let me enter it in again, you know, we got this, and then we'll go down to, right down to parking, right here. Say 3. Okay, so now we will add another expense on Friday if this is a circumstance, and we'll go ahead and select parking, and we'll input 3, and then in the comment again we'll add SRMS number 000000, and basically that the reason why you do this is so it can be tracked back to a certain ticket and confirmed that parking actually had to be paid. So it's kind of proof in your circumstance. So in my circumstance, I will be canceling that out, and I will also get rid of this over here because again, I do not have any parking for this week. So now that the total is done, we're going to make sure that 132.95 is the same thing that we show down here. We want the same totals in these two windows. Now, even though you think you may have entered it in right, every once in a while you don't, and it'll drive you crazy trying to find the values. Now, one thing that gets me all the time is when you're trying to add up these values and you're trying to find the inconsistency as to why it's not the same, remember that this total is the total for these two categories together. These two categories separate are 3621 and 560, which makes 4181. So these are the two that you want to check and make sure. Anytime you have a double down day, you want to make sure those two are accurate, or if you have a parking receipt or something like that. But in this circumstance, both of them are accurate. So we're pretty much ready to submit our time now. So then we will go through and make sure everything is accurate, and we will go ahead and click submit. I won't because I still have time to claim, but you'll click submit here. I'm good for clicking submit right here, so I'll click submit. Because all this is mileage, alright, so that's submitted to supplier, it's submitted, and that should be just about it. And then again, we're coming back with the form, and we have to click submit here. Again, it's very important that you confirm everything is accurate, everything is the same. Otherwise, it could lead to delays in your check. Usually it's caught before there are delays in your check, but it's always best, so you don't have to deal with it on Monday, just to make sure everything is accurate before you finally click submit right down there. One final thing to mention is that if you have any areas that you're somewhat confused on, or you don't want to scroll through the entire video all over again, the manual that you should have also received will help a lot. There's quick links in that manual, and you can go all through it and just get to certain sections that you need to. But thank you for watching, and good luck.